Get the headlines here, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory at the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Mike McDaniel, speaking at the NFL meetings yesterday, and had some thoughts on being on the hot seat. Here was Mike McDaniel on relating it to another coach that was on the hot seat last year.
He knows my expectation is to be the best person for the job. And, that can get convoluted. Was I the best person for the job last year? We lost more than we won. We were 8-9. There's a bunch of variables in that. There's variables in success. I think Nick Sirianni was, I want to be on that hot seat he was on last year. But what else would I expect? You're not entitled to position, and ultimately, if it's deemed that someone, the organization would be best served with someone else, like I'm more on board with that than people realize. I think that's a natural part of it. It's why I didn't start. It's why I was able to not change when the same people are pointing out my failures were hyping me up through success. This is the fastest changing world in sports. Again, Nick Sirianni was on the hottest seat.
There you go. Mike McDaniel yesterday at the owners' meetings.
At first, I was like, okay, land the plane.
That's how it always is with him.
Seems to be some traffic here. We're gonna have to keep.
he's skywriting in the air. He's writing messages with the plume behind him.
Really?
Karen says, "I hate McDaniel's voice. Just sick of him."
What happened?
Man.
Like a guy that tries to give all the answers for all the questions with the first question,
but gives you nothing.
Right.
But gives you nothing. Just says so many words jumbled together.
Tried my best to hang in there, but I actually don't know what he said.
Luis Benito said, after 1 minute, he sounds like my wife.
Wow. Your wife is catching strays?
Well, no, it's look, my wife calls me when she comes home from work, and it don't matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could be outside with a water hose, cleaning a filter, and she'll always have a story.
Well, that's good.
So
it's
today,
entertaining.
And I'm like, call you back.
Call you back, Big Spoon.
Oh yeah.
He wants to be on the Nick Sirianni. He's not gonna like. Here's the thing, though. Like
Nick Sirianni went to the Super Bowl before. Now, in fairness to Nick Sirianni, the bums of Philadelphia tried to run him out of town.
They did.
Punch
And he won the Super Bowl.
Hate
Same thing with Ryan Day.
Smug.
So I find this in my world, in my own personal world, I find that to be one of the most hilarious things in sports this year. The two guys that all their fan base wanted to fire won championships. If I was either one of them, Nick Sirianni, the first game of the season, go Randy Moss on him. Just cheeks. To all of Philly.
You want him to do that?
They're going to hate you anyway. They're going to hate you on anyway.
But wouldn't like everybody's counter to that for the Dolphin fans with Mike McDaniel, and even people who still believe in Mike McDaniel, because I do like that quirky little guy,
Yes.
But like, wouldn't everybody's point to it be like, well, Nick Sirianni's move was he gave up play calling, like he did focus on being a head coach. He did try and change things, and Mike McDaniel is not. Mike McDaniel is not doing that, and I think everybody kind of wonders. With the management of the team, the tardiness, man, he stinks at the challenges, and he thinks he's really good at it. He's very eager. Maybe you could take some notes from Nick Sirianni, and it doesn't feel like he is as willing to do that.
Okay. Let me please break this down for the 1,000th time. Somebody calling the plays is very insignificant. Because everybody knows what the plays are going to be. You practice all week for situations or whatever. And so It doesn't matter who calls the plays. We have this in our mind to think that, oh, he should give up duties. That'll make it better. Give up calling. Offensive coordinators are the guys that are in the daily meetings.
If it doesn't matter though, then why are so many head coaches keen on it?
Because it just seems like a move to make to get everybody off your back.
But that was one thing.
That's the only reason why they do it.
But it's one thing that Nick Sirianni did that he felt like it did free him up and did get him to be more in.
It's an after the fact thing, right? They still wanted to fire him.
I guess that maybe they did want to fire him, but he felt like that was a positive. And Mike McDaniel doesn't feel that way because he didn't get to call. He didn't call plays before he came here, and it was one thing he really wanted to do.
Let me see if I can explain it this way. So during the week, we have 3 or 4 plays for this situation, 4 or 5 plays for this situation, 4 or 5 plays for that situation, and formations and whatever. Okay. During the week, the offensive coordinator and your position coaches are going all over these situations with you, right? On Sunday, you know which 3 or 4 plays are going to be called. The head coach, even if he's calling plays, may not be in those meetings during the week, but he might at some point call the plays. Everybody knows what the plays are. It's not like every play they're pulling a rabbit out of their hat. It's only one of 3 or 4 plays and formations that they're running. You have your offensive coordinator in the ear of the coach. The coach is still may be the guy giving the play over the mic. But that preparation has been done during the course of the week.
I'm sure that it has, but there's got to be some. There's had to be in the history of football elements of game management that has probably changed to do things that are more efficient.
I think when that part is failing, when you start having problems managing games, then I could see how that could help. But for people to say, "Oh, the offense stinks," or "this is not good," or "he should give up play calling," as what everybody goes to when a coach is struggling, I think it's just a cop-out, and sometimes coaches will just say, "Hey, I'm going to give up," just to appease everybody, but it's not really making that much of a difference. It's not. I mean, Andy Reid still calls plays. He's not the offensive coordinator, though. I mean, in fact, Andy Reid was getting more credit than Bieniemy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Bieniemy left.
Eventually, yeah.
Right.
Eventually he left.
Right. So, let's not make that big of a deal.
But like the comp is Andy Reid. Like, you're talking about like the best of the best in the league.
Let's not make that big of a deal about play calling.
But if we were to talk about Mike McDaniel and like the way that he runs the offense and the creative stuff, like obviously he does creative stuff and he does things that people have wanted to copy and things like that. I'm not saying that he's a dope, but I would say if we were going to talk about him as a coach and the things that do have to improve, that most of it is team management stuff. Want
me to tell you what I think the problem with Mike McDaniel's play calling is?
He's yammering.
No, is that he coaches to beat the defense. He doesn't coach offensive football offensively. So you don't put stuff out there saying they got to adjust to us. You're trying to guess what's coming and you make the appropriate calls. For example, going into a game plan going, they got a good offensive line. Our offensive line sucks. We got to get rid of the ball quick and throw 17 bubble screens. You've already defeated your offense before they had a chance to run a play. And that happened all year. And in fact, at the end of the year, he said, I regretted not going down the field more because you're trying to coach something that hasn't happened, but you're predicting it will happen. You're predicting your offensive line's not going to protect. You're predicting I got to get the ball out of Tua's hand. And what ends up happening? Your offense looks like crap because you have gone into it assuming things. Where there's some coaches that say, we got a great offense, they're going to adjust to us, and then we'll make some adjustments. So I think, contrary to popular belief, Mike McDaniel's problem was he was too conservative with that high-powered offense. So just be you.
I miss Wheelbarrow Mike.
Right.
We lost him.
Right.
He's not the same guy. He says he's the same guy.
Because here's what he was thinking. I got to protect the offensive line. I got to protect Tua. How do I do the two? Get the ball out of Tua's hands quickly and throw these little short passes. Now you're in 2nd and 13. You got to drop back, and then you're getting everybody killed.
Mouse balls, Mike.
So that's what I think. That's my only opinion.
That's not your only opinion.
About this.
Oh, okay.
That's the only problem I've ever had. That's the only problem I have with Mike McDaniel. On a week-to-week basis, I can see that, he's trying to protect this.
You don't
he's
think
trying
he's
to protect
yammering
that.
on that headset, though?
No.
I think he is.
The play is the play.
You sure?
In fact,
But they say he has wordy plays.
oh, yeah. Dude, those are the worst. Like,
But of course,
because here's what we do. In the huddle, you listen to your part because you have protection, formation, motion, play.
Mhm.
Right? Once you get to your part, you're out of the huddle. Like, I ain't got time for all this. I don't care about
who has to
X,
wait
Y.
last?
The wide receivers, the ones that got to go the farthest, because then you got those last quick yells from the quarterback. Hey, skinny post. Like, he just like, dude,
They should make play calls, Ryan.
can I just tell you that sometimes you'll be in the huddle and a play will come in and we'll start looking at each other and basically go, Marcos,
Like,
we ain't got time for all
Don't you
this.
think they'd figure out the rhymes quick, though?
No.
But here's the
No.
thing. Here's the thing, though. When you practice the plays long enough or enough to where everybody knows the play, you can correct it on the fly.
What rhyme do you want? Like hickory dickory dock
No.
on 2?
Roger, line, XY receiver, you're doing a number 9. Let's go on 3. It's really good. It's really good.
Can I just tell
Easy to
you,
remember. It'll come out with a flow.
if I
everyone on the
put
left
him
do
in
a-
a huddle to hear a play,
Yeah.
he'd be just floored. Like, what?
Rocking on
But
missile.
everything, but the plays are long, but they're all predicated on different positions. So, like, what the line is doing, which way the tight ends lining up, what strength of the offense, what protection you're in, what routes are you running. I can run the same play 3 times, and the backs and the wide receivers will do something different every time, even though it's the same play because of the formation.
We'll take a break here on the show. Back with more after this.